Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to me having a look through all of the CDs that I own, a lot of which I'm going to be having to get rid of. And we're going to start with this box here. Now, I've already seen we have Thrash Greatest Hits, or This Is Thrash. Now, this is a 3 CD set. You've got Anthrax, Exodus, Celtic Frost, Rage, Creator, a really good selection of your classic thrash bands. However, outside of Anthrax, there is no Metallica, no Megadeth, no Slayer, no Testament. So Anthrax were obviously the only one of the big four that made it on here. I suppose I'll hold it up to the back. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. I actually can't see what I'm recording, so I'm probably going to stop in a second and check that it works. But that's the song list, and yeah, songs that I remember particularly from this, because I'm going to go through each CD with a few minutes just chatting about where I got it and whatever. This would have been in HMV at some point when I was younger, when I was first starting to get into thrash, and I really like Megadeth. Megadeth were my into thrash, I suppose, because I'd heard a bit of Metallica, but Megadeth were the ones that I first really got into. And songs that I remember of here, surprisingly enough, it's mostly Anthrax ones. Caught in a Mosh, absolute classic. This would have been the first time I would have heard it. And the Law. What else have we got on here? See, a lot of these songs I don't remember. There's Sodom on here as well. There's good bands. It's a good mix of bands on here. But it is a classic kind of, let's put together 3 CDs of songs. They're not necessarily these bands' biggest songs either. And some of the bands, like I said, I haven't even heard of. But that is the first one. This is Thrash, a compilation one. Don't worry, I'm going to try and get the compilation ones out the way early, and then we've got some more juicy ones later on. Or maybe I'll find a juicy one there. Also, we might be joined by my parents' dog. She's over staying this afternoon, and I just heard her make a racket. Okay, so no dog joining us. Not yet, she's gone back out over there. But next CD, what do we got? Now this I have absolutely no idea what any of the songs on it sound like, where I found it, or anything. It was in a second-hand shop. I'm gonna see, for some of these bands, I'm gonna see if I can find them. But the only thing in English on here is Maya Records Co. Everything else is, I suppose it must be Japanese. I don't know if it's going to focus on the side there, but let's have a look at the art book as well, because this could give something away. You never know. Oh no, I've caught it. Oh, it folds down. Animation main staff. Soundtrack. It's a soundtrack album. This is in English on the inside here. So it must be an anime soundtrack, I'm guessing? Drama Part Record. The musician is The Pillows. Let's see if we can find anything on Google. The Pillows anime soundtrack. Oh, is that it? That doesn't look like it. It looks not too far off. That logo and that logo look fairly close together. Okay, yeah, Cookie's fine. Images. I think it's something slightly different. It's a very similar style, but I don't think it's quite that one. But we found out it's The Pillows. There it is. Crazy Sunshine. So yeah, like I said, I don't remember getting it, but there's the disc itself as well, nice and shiny, very cool. Here we go, let's have a listen. FLCL there. Yeah, okay. Hey, to be honest, it's fairly well known. 2.2 million viewers. Anyway, that is the Pillows Crazy Sunshine soundtrack album. This album that I'd seen it sitting there for so long, but I had no idea what it actually was. Well, now we know. Who knows what's coming up next? Right. Now, Incubus. A band I don't think I've ever really properly given a listen to. I would have picked this CD up, I think at CEX, for some incredibly cheap price at some point, and I don't remember listening to it at all. I don't remember listening to it at all. Take Me to Your Leader rings a little bit of a bell. Well, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but the album cover is a mushroom. The CD's not even in here, I don't know where that is. But what? Okay, it's yeah, some recording photos, I'm assuming, is what's going on the inside here. That's what it looks like. But yeah, no lyrics on this. Oh. Wait, so this is actually... Oh! Okay. So it seems like this is their, like, sort of demos, almost? Or like their early recordings, rather than a full album. Because it's talking about like 15 to 17-year-olds. And these are infamous, timeless, and mildly painful recordings called Fungus Among Us. So, yeah, they were 16 and wanted to be Primus when they did these. Or Primus, Mr. Bungle, and Red Hot Chili Peppers in one. It's quite a mix, but yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Fungus Among Us. A weird demo mix of tracks from Incubus. But again, I've not really listened to it properly. I've got all of these albums. Like I said, I'm going to have to get rid of some of them physically, but I've got them all digitally backed up, so I'll have to give it a listen at some point. Now, next up is Fluority. Now, this is their first album from what I remember. I would say black metal, probably black metal is what they'd be classed as. This album included the demo that they did with their first vocalist, but their first vocalist damaged his vocal cords so bad he couldn't speak properly or sing properly again after it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure death black metal, not exactly sure where they're from. Possibly British, looking at this, Candlelight Records, so maybe? Let's have a look, see if there's anything more on the inside. Oh, it's a fold-out booklet, giving us some full artwork. I'm not quite sure what the artwork's showing. I can see a saw and maybe some chain fence, and I can have a face up here, but not really my type of music, if I'm honest. And then this is just lyrics on the inside. But yeah, like I said, some of this is really early and has a different vocalist, and he proper screwed. But I must be able to find it. Hold up. So yeah, that's the vocal style. Not really for me. Not really for me at all. The comments are saying, great band or whatever, however the video only has 9,000 views, and I know black metal is quite a niche little genre, not one I'm really into massively. So it might well be that it's a big album in the scene, but I just don't. It doesn't really vibe with me. But again, I would have picked it up really cheap somewhere, because I used to go on like the equivalent of play.com and other similar CD websites and sort by cheapest and just order a load of cheap stuff, and because you never know what might turn up, right? You might find some new undiscovered band that you really end up liking, and that did happen a couple of times. We'll find the albums later on, but a lot of the time it was misses. Fluidity, nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. I can appreciate it a little bit, but it's, yeah, not something I listen to on the daily. Okay, now we're going to do 2 in 1 here, because they are both compilations. This is a 6-disc compilation, 120 original hits. That was bought in Woolworths, I believe. And Monsters of Rock, this is a 3-disc compilation. They've got some really good tracks actually on here. I'll hold this up to the camera, but you're not going to be able to see because there's so many tracks. There's 120 tracks. You've got Deep Purple on there, Motorhead, Meatloaf, ZZ Top, Hello Dog, Santana, Foreigner. And then on this one, actually probably the better set list is this Monsters of Rock one. You've got Kiss, Van Halen, Rainbow, Whitesnake, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. So, of this has a lot of songs that I don't think I'd ever go back and listen to a second time. But, also, really good tracks. Starts off with Smoke on the Water, absolute classic. Then Fool for Your Lovin' by Whitesnake. But then, like, This Planet's on Fire by Sammy Hagar, I've never heard of it. Silver Machine by Hawkwind, I might recognise it. There's Whole Lot of Love, but it's by CCS, so I'm assuming it must be a cover. And yeah, and as you get towards like the last CDs, they obviously started to run out of larger hits and larger artists to put on it, and it does. The tracks aren't. They don't hold up the whole way down. But big bands on here most of the way. Although saying that, you've got My Sharona by The Knack right down there. That's a song that I remember being on that. I learned it on guitar afterwards. Monsters of Rock, however, starts out with Queen, and then starts out with Stargazer by Rainbow on the 2nd disc. Boom! That's like an immediate win, because it's a full-length one. It's not like some cropped version, it's the full song. You got Out in the Field by Gary Moore and Leonard. Poison by Alice Cooper. Like this free CD thing, great range of it. And before Spotify, where you could obviously just look up a playlist or whatever, something like that in the car, beautiful. You'd love to see it. Yeah, that one, really, really nice mix of songs. Okay, we're making a bit of progress through this box number 1 of like 900. It's gonna take some time. And it's Foo Fighters, One by One. Now, most people probably know All My Life from this album. I'm trying to think what else is on here. What do we got? Times Like These as well, 2 big tracks. I do like me some Foo Fighters, but only in little bits, actually. I don't generally listen to... When was the last full Foo Fighters album I listened to? I don't even know if I ever have listened to one the whole way through. I don't know, they're just... I've not given them time, really, to properly say what I like and what I don't really like about them. I love the catchy choruses they've got, obviously stuff like Monkey Wrench, Pretender, Times Like These, like... They have a lot of really good songs. But in terms of putting a full album together, I'd need to listen to it, because I haven't listened to it the whole way through. Again, it would have been, I got it really cheap, stuck it on the PC, and it came up in like the shuffles over time. But I won't have ever sat down and listened to it the whole way. You'll see that's kind of a bit of a trend. There will be some bands that I'll be like, yep, no, I've listened to this so many times, but for a lot of it, it's kind of, I got it because I thought I'd be interested in it, and then never really gave it the time. which, you know, maybe it's a reason why I shouldn't have got so many, and maybe it's a good thing that I'm getting rid of them, but yeah, Foo Fighters, One by One, good album. Well, has some good singles on it. Can't comment on the rest of the tracks. Forest Silence, I believe. Is this Forest Silence? That's the album cover. There is the back. And yeah, it's Forest Silence. Philosophy of Winter. Again, some kind of black doom metal band, Candlelight Records. Let's give them a listen, because I don't really remember what they sounded like. What was it? Forest Doom? No, Forest Silence. Dear me. Oh, that is a classic, like, black metal album cover, isn't it? It's fantastic. So this is the album. 1.7k views again. Has actually quite a nice mix to it. It's been ages since I listened to any of that band, but the way it was mixed sounded really nice. Again, it's been so many years since I listened to this band. I kind of wanted to do these videos just because I'm getting rid of these CDs, so I have a record of everything that I ever had as physical music. And it's more just showing it off rather than necessarily an opinion on it. Some albums, obviously there's going to be opinions, but something like this, I haven't listened to it enough to really talk about the music. It sounded nice from that little 30-second snippet. That's kind of it. I am not going to get rid of this album. I don't know why this is in the get rid of pile. This, Fratelli's Costello Music, is such a good album. Like, every track on there, apart from a couple, is really good. This was one of the first albums I ever bought. Got it at Woolworths, when Woolworths was still a thing in the UK. I don't know, I just love the vibe, the energy from it. Like, all the songs were very upbeat, and I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. I haven't listened to much more of Fratelli's outside of this album, but I really enjoyed it. You've got, like, Baby Fratelli, which I think the music video is the Hot Fuzz, like, fight in the supermarket. Henrietta is a classic. Whistle for the Choir and Chelsea Dagger for the Girl. Bangers. Yeah, really, really good album. I'm going to move it out of the getting rid of pile to the keep pile, because it's great. Now let's have a quick look at the... Oh, hang on. Mysterious discs inside, but not the actual Fratelli's one. We'll have to work out what's on these. It's probably just going to be mixes that I've put together, but I also need to know where the original disc has gone, which is good. Yeah, so it's just kind of your standard lyric book by the looks of it. Yeah, it's all just lyric book. But that's good, like, you know, that's all you need, right? Sometimes. Yeah, just sing along. Yeah. No, that Fratelli's Costello Music, absolutely fantastic album. Definitely not getting rid of that one. Don't know why it's ended up there. Love it. Now, next up, I'm going to take one from the middle here. I'm not sure quite what we got. Oh, Audio Slave. Okay. Now, this one has Original Fire on it, which is the only track I'm actually recognising from the track list. Which, you know, if it was their self-titled, fantastic album. This one, haven't listened to it enough, can't really give you any insights on it. I love Tom Morello's guitar playing on most stuff, so chances are I'll probably be quite a fan of it. This one was from Oxfam, apparently, so a charity shop in the UK for those of you that aren't in the UK. Let's have a quick look. So we've got some nice band pictures by the looks of it, or well, individual members. And yeah, there's Morello. Oh, look at the guitar, it's so cool. I love the finishes and the designs that he goes for on them. They're really cool. So yeah, again, I've got this backed up. I'll need to have a bit more of a listen to it, but yeah. Obviously, Chris Cornell. Man, that guy could sing. Man, he could sing. Oh wow, I've just noticed what the CD itself actually is as well. Yeah, alright. Sun. It's very cool. It's a cool design to the actual disc. I like the way that the album cover is sort of, you know, it's obviously broken up, but you can still tell exactly who and what it is. Yeah, so Audioslave. Really like the band, but I haven't given this album much of a listen to. I'll need to now. £2.99. What a bargain. Now, this is going to be a tricky one. This here is 5 Devin Townsend albums. But also Joe Satriani Surfing with the Alien. Why is that in there? So it is his 5 first albums, I think, from what I remember. Obviously, Ocean Machine is amazing. I actually saw Devin Townsend in concert with... Oh no, my brain. How's it forgotten these people? No. With Leprous and... Oh, what are they called? Nocturne... Tesseract, that's it. Saw them a few years ago now. It was a Hammersmith Apollo, and he played through this entire album. Didn't realise that was what he was doing when we booked the tickets for the concert, but it was so good. Like, hearing Funeral Bastard and The Death of Music back to back to back. Whoa. Such just musical, just your ears were just open to this wall of sound. And I know that's what a lot of people say about Devin Townsend music. It is just a wall of it. But seeing it live and like hearing his vocals live, because obviously there's so many people reacting to like the Royal Albert Hall Deadhead performance and stuff like that. But actually just hearing him live was so good. And one song that whenever I listen back to it, I'm like, it was so much better live, is actually Regulator. Regulator live hits so hard, but now that I listen to it on the record, it's like, oh, he could really do a re-recording. I've heard a live version, it was pretty good. This has got Earth Day on it, which is probably the standout track for me on Terria, but I haven't given this album a huge amount of listen. But Earth Day is a banger track if you only listen to one. This is the album that Deadhead comes from. Is it Infinity? No, Accelerated Evolution, sorry. Which is good. Hello, dog! Hello! Goodbye. Now you're gonna sit there? Okay. So yeah, Deadhead from that album. Physicist. Kingdom is on here. It's quite hard to not say Kingdom as the track to listen to from Physicist. And this one's Infinity. He's actually... During like lockdown and stuff, he did a live stream playing through the entirety of Infinity, which was really cool. Christine's great, War's great. No, War is not great, War is awful, but the song War is good. Truth is also really cool. So yeah, this 5 CD pack, I think cost me like £12. It was such a bargain. I like his music, but yeah, I like his music. I like his music a lot, but Ocean Machine is probably my favourite album of Devin Townsend. It's really good. It's just really, really good. Have you farted, dog? Oh, it stinks. What was... Right, what's next? What do we got? Next up, the Sunday Times presents Noel Gallagher live at the Royal Albert Hall. That's all that one's getting. I don't think I've ever listened to that. I think that's my parents that I've somehow ended up with. Not a massive Noel Gallagher Oasis fan, really. Don't know. Never been my kind of music. This album, it's a bit of fun. The G3 Alive. Now, for those of you that don't know what the G3 is, it's an event Oh, I'm not sure if it's still going. It was like a tour of guitarists, like virtuoso guitarists. I'm pretty sure put together mostly by Joe Satriani. From what I remember, he was the guy that would be like, right, can you come and play Mr. Malmsteen? Can you come and play Mr. Vai? Let's play some of our own songs. So this CD is split up. They've got basically their own sets. So there's the track list. And so they've all got like 4 or 5 songs each from what I remember, and then they do a few like medleys. And one medley that I always remember from this is the Rocky and the Free World one. It's like 14 minutes long or something insane like that. And they've got like loads of guitar solos, loads of harmonies and stuff like that. Let me just see if I can find some of the performance. So sometimes it can get a little bit much when you've got 3 guitar players going insane over the top of each other, but obviously they're all incredible guitarists. The album's just really cool. You've got Crystal Planet, Always With Me, Always With You from Satriani on here, Whispering a Prayer from Steve Vai, which is a Steve Vai classic, and then Malmsteen, he's got obviously his fantastic classical like runs that he does. Let's skip forward to the solo. Like, but you can hear the others in the background as well. They're not just playing rhythm, they're adding their own little jazzes in there. That sounds like Vai, right? That's got to be Vai. Yeah, this is all Wabby. Yeah, really cool album, this one. G3 Live in Denver. And this Rockin' in the Free World, 12.5 minutes long. It's so good. That would be the track I would listen to on the album if you could only do one, which is probably something I'm going to try and do. We're going to recommend a track to listen to off of each CD that I go through, as long as it's a CD I actually remember. But yeah, that's the one. That is the track. Rockin' in the Free World. 12.5 minutes. It's worth it though. It's so worth it. It was the final song of the set as well, so obviously it's got the incredible like crescendo of music right at the end of it. But yeah, that's it for the G3 Live Rockin' in the Free World at Denver. What I will do actually, I've realised I haven't looked to see what's in here. I'm imagining it's probably just going to be, it's just a load of thanks to, and like this was originally recorded here, but there we go. Some images from the show as well have been included. Nice. Very cool. This one was Denver, I believe. But yeah, there's quite a few of these G3 CDs around. This is the only one I've ever picked up, but I've seen them before, like advertised places. So worth a listen if you like that virtuoso style guitar player. Now, I'm only halfway through this first box. I have probably 10 or 15 of these boxes to go. This is going to take quite a long time. However, Beastie Boys! Okay. So this one was from CEX, I can tell by the label. Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. I believe this has Intergalactic on it. Is that the one? No, it's Sabotage. Sabotage. Which one has Intergalactic? I'm sure I have that album as well somewhere. Outside of Sabotage, I don't really recognise the songs. Again, I would have got it from CEX, probably listened to it once, like on a drive back from somewhere, and then I've never really listened to it the whole way through again. Quite like Beastie Boys. They've got some nice, interesting sounds. Sabotage is obviously an absolute classic. But yeah, I don't have a huge amount more to add because I haven't listened to it that much. That's a really cool, nice colour on the CD though. If it comes out of its case properly. Yeah. Cool green. And what we got in this? Oh, it's all green on the... Oh no, it's all different colours. Whoa! What is that? What? It's like a Tool album. What's happened there? That's really cool. Okay. It's got a really cool little booklet. I'll need to give it more of a listen. Like I said, I quite like Beastie Boys. but haven't given the whole album a listen. So the only track I could recommend is Sabotage, because it's the only one that I know. But yeah, Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. Oh, Avenged Sevenfold, eh? Waking the Fallen. Not a big fan! This is the like remastered one as well, from what I remember. It is. It's the remastered one. So the second disc has like different versions of a lot of the different tracks, or like live versions. Like there's a live version of Unholy Confessions. But I don't know. Early Avenged Sevenfold was not my thing. Not my thing at all. Really cool in terms of the actual booklet. Obviously the members there. There you go. Voila! But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of early Avenged Sevenfold. The only track on here that I'd say I know like well is Unholy Confessions, and that's just because it's got such a good riff. Like it's just a great, really fun riff to play on guitar. But outside of that, Remissions rings a bell as well. I'd probably recognise it if I heard it, and Waking the Fallen as well. But it's just, I'm not a fan of early Avenged Sevenfold, even when it's been remastered. I don't know. Not a huge fan. Unholy Confessions from the album, the one we'll go to. Okay, what have we got next? What do we have next? Ooh, let's go with Disturbed. Indestructible is the album, is it? Yeah, that's the one. Good tracks. Like, there's a few good tracks on here. Indestructible and Inside the Fire stand out. Deceiver as well, I seem to remember being a nice one. Not my favourite Disturbed album. That will come to at some point, being 10,000 Fists, but Inside the Fire is a great riff. It's a fun riff to play on guitar, if you've got a guitar tuned to drop C. Yeah, I mean, it's Disturbed, right? It's Disturbed outside of their first album. Their first album, whatever the album is that has Down with the Sickness, I really quite like. But that first album is not so good. Not a big fan of it. The 10,000 Fists is lovely. Oh, that's not very... How are you meant to read that? So they've got a lyric book, but you can't read the lyrics. What's the point in that? Oh, classic moody band photo. Love to see it. Yeah, so Inside the Fire is the track I'd give a listen to if you're just going to listen to one song off of the album. And the album is Indestructible by Disturbed. Go on, here you go. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, hang on, I've not put it in right. Oh no. This is one thing I don't miss about CDs, is trying to slide these back in and get them right. There we go. So yeah, Disturbed, Indestructible. Give Inside the Fire a listen. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1? Yes, 1. So this is probably best known for, so Live and Let Die and Don't Cry. I would say the two tracks off of here that people would mostly know from Guns N' Roses. And actually, outside of that, I don't think I know any of them. Again, this would have been an album that I would have picked up at some point because I knew Guns N' Roses. I had the Guns N' Roses Greatest Hits album, but I don't know where that is because I didn't see it the other day when I was going through them. But I haven't listened to them that much. I kind of got into Guns N' Roses like as I was getting into thrash, and I ended up just listening to more thrash than actual Guns N' Roses and classic rock. Hello! What are you up to? You're still waiting for them to come back, eh? Well, don't worry. They'll be back soon. You can have your dinner at some point as well. Okay. So, yeah. Guns N' Roses, didn't listen to a huge amount of them. Haven't listened to a huge amount of this album. If I was going to recommend one track, probably Don't Cry. Don't Cry is a really, really cool track. I don't know if I've got Use Your Illusion 2 anywhere. I might do. But from what I remember, 2 has a few more of their classics on it. But these other tracks... Oh wait, November Rain is on this one! That changes things. November Rain! Yeah, November Rain's the one you should listen to and watch the music video. Slash in the desert, rocking out on his guitar. Love it. How did I miss that? Yeah, no, November Rain would be the track to go for. So, well, there's at least 3 tracks that I recognise, and I haven't given the album much of a listen to. So, yeah, November Rain. Ooh, we're getting towards the end of the first box. What? What? The Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin. I have no idea what this CD is. I don't know a single track off of it. How have I ended up with this? What is this? The Moody Blues. Well, there it is. In Paris, restored video? Yeah, why not? No! Go away, adverts. Okay, well, I'm going to assume it's blues, which I do quite like a bit of blues here and there. Have a listen. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. So I assume this is their best of. It looks like it might well be a best of album. That's cool. But yeah, no idea who these guys were. There's a picture of them in here a little bit older. Not that much older. Pretty similar age actually. His moustache looks very similar. But yeah, no, I had no idea who these guys were. No idea. I'm assuming it's a best of. It seems like a best of. So this was 45... Oh, okay, so... It's definitely a best of, and it was a best of for 45 years after. What is in here? Hang on. I've just noticed that the disc is definitely not Nights in White Satin. It's instead... Charlie's Angels? What? Charlie's Angels soundtrack? Okay, who knows? I had no idea I even had this CD, so I don't know where that's come from. But anyway, the Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin is a best of Moody Blues, a band I've never really heard of, so can't really give you a recommendation. Oh, here we go. Now this shouldn't be in the getting rid of pile. Why? Alright. Okay, Avenged Sevenfold. My favourite album by them. Their self-titled one. Critical acclaim, Almost Easy, Scream, Afterlife, bangers, Dear God, great track, A Little Piece of Heaven, a little bit strange, but I quite like progressive and weird music like that, so love it. Gunslinger, fantastic. Unbound the Worldwide, Brockton Cocktail and Lost, I don't recognise so much, but the album itself, fantastic. Really cool. I remember getting this when I was at college, and I think I listened to it for basically just a week straight. This was like the only album I listened to. Really fun songs to play on guitar as well, actually. Almost Easy, Afterlife and Scream are all great fun. Scream especially with the that was bass, by the way. Yeah, no, really good album. Love it. Yeah, definitely, like, by far my favourite Avenged Sevenfold album. Almost every track, like I said, I know really well. Just these two in the middle that I don't. But if I heard them, I'm sure I'd recognise them. But yeah, Avenged Sevenfold self-titled album. if I was to recommend one single track off of it for you to listen to, it's hard to not say Afterlife, but it's going to be Afterlife, or hopefully you've got time for 2 or more, maybe the whole album. It's going to be Afterlife or Scream. Or if you're feeling funky and want something a little bit different, A Little Piece of Heaven is certainly a track. But yeah, no, give it a listen. Avenged Sevenfold, self-titled. Another Audioslave album. I don't recognise Out of Exile I recognise. And it's got a version of Like a Stone on here. Yeah, a live version of Like a Stone, which I recognise, and Out of Exile, but that's it. I realise I've only listened to their self-titled album properly. I don't really know the tracks off of it, but again, Tom Morello, Chris Cornell. Oh, there it goes. Apparently wasn't in there very well. What's it? Tim. What's his name? Tim someone. The bass player. It's in here, isn't it? Oh, is it? Tim Coniford and Brad Wilk. Of course. On drums, again, more moody band photos to go with the things. But yeah, I haven't really. I wonder how loose those strings were to be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to do that on fully tensed up strings. That would be painful. But yeah, really cool. But again, haven't really listened to it. Can't really recommend you any tracks at all. I'm not going to recommend you a live version of a song that came out on a different album, because that's the only one that I recognise. So I'll need to give it a bit more of a listen. But yeah, Audioslave, and I believe the album is Out of Exile. Right, The Gallows. Orchestra of Wolves. I know the reason I got this CD. I got this CD because of Guitar Hero 3. And In the Belly of the Shark is a bonus track on Guitar Hero 3. And I really liked it. It was fun to play. But I haven't really listened to this album very much at all. That's the only track that I know off of it, looking at them here. It's a cool album cover. I really like it. But yeah, Belly of the Shark, of a shark, it would be the one I would recommend listening to, because it's the only track I really know. Oh, it's a really dark... God, look at all those eyes. You don't want to see that at night. Oof. No, thank you. Yeah, there's a standard kind of lyric book in here. So yeah. Oh, nice, cool. The design actually on the CD as well is of the eyes. See, cool. But yeah, Belly of a Shark is the only one I can recommend because I don't really know the rest of the album. But yeah, Gallows and Orchestra of Wolves. So what is there to say about Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy? Buckethead. I love me Buckethead. He played guitar on a few of these tracks. I think Shackler's Revenge was one that I remember for sure he was on. But they had such a mix of just musicians on this album. It's such a weird, like, conglomeration of stuff. It doesn't really add up. Only tracks that I really remember are Shackler's Revenge, Better, and Chinese Democracy, which are the first 3 tracks. Maybe IRS as well? But it's a weird album. It's a very strange album that doesn't really fit together, I found. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. The Bucket. But yeah, this was like the era when they were incredibly late to gigs, Guns N' Roses, like 2 hours late, that sort of thing. Oh, Scraped I think I recognise as well, looking at the lyrics. But yeah, weird album. If I was to recommend a track, it would probably be Shackler's Revenge, because I know for sure Buckethead was on it and you can hear his influence. I really like him as a guitar player. But it's just a strange album. It's just a weird album that doesn't really fit together. So yeah, Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy, give Shackler's Revenge a listen. Oh, we're nearly done with the box. 3 left. 2 pretty good albums, 1 that I don't really remember. We're gonna start with Green Day Dookie. Good album. Good Green Day album. It's between this and American Idiot, obviously. Well, for my personal favourite Green Day album, probably be American Idiot. It was just came out at the right time. It was when I was at secondary school. All the songs were hitting, you know. Holiday, American Idiot, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Jesus and Suburbia, amongst all of the others. Like, so good. Wake Me Up When September Ends. Like, so many iconic tracks off of that from my like teenage years. So that would probably be the one I'd go for. I know some of you that are maybe slightly older, probably this had a similar effect. Obviously Burnout, classic. When I Come Around as well. Basket Case, like, and Welcome to Paradise. Like, there's a lot of good Green Day tracks on here. If I was to recommend one to listen to, probably Basket Case. I know it's a bit generic, but it's just a good track. It's got a good chorus, like, yeah. Really cool album cover as well, isn't it? There's so much going on in it. I don't hold it up for a bit longer. Hopefully it's in focus. I have no way of telling, by the way. Fingers crossed that's focused on it, but yeah, I'll have a quick look and see. Oh, and that's cool as well. Look at the... Oh no, it's stuck. No, come out. Ah! I've said this before, I hate stuff that's stuck on here. Actually, that's a really cool thing on the CD. It's actually got the track numbers and the track names all on the disc, along with like a similar design to the cover. Some classic with band photos on the back, and some nice style of artwork actually for the lyrics, kind of like comic book style almost. It's really cool. Yeah, so give it a listen. Give the whole album a listen, to be honest. Dookie by Green Day. I don't remember this album very much. Kula Shaker. K. Do I know any of the tracks? Why are they all upside down? I can't read. Hey Dude, that rings a bell. But outside of that, I don't know a single track, and I don't even know how Hey Dude really sounds, but let's have a quick listen. Ah! Okay, go away. Adverts. However, it does say on the back, property of Sony Music, promotional copy not for sale. So I don't know where I got this from. Well, that's fun. I wonder how I ended up with that. Anyway, let's give this a listen. Oh, it's this song! Yeah, I know this song. But it will be the only song I know off of it. I suppose the only thing I can recommend is listen to Hey Dude, because I don't know any other tracks off of this. I haven't given it much of a listen. I don't know how I got it, where I got it from. Promotional copy, not for sale. Who knows? Who knows? Ooh, we got a good last album in the box. We have Lamb of God, Ashes of the Wake. First Lamb of God album that I ever really listened to. Later Rest, Hourglass, big tracks, Ashes of the Wake as well. The Faded Line, Omerta, and Now You've Got Something to Die For as well. It's a very long title, but it's a track. I always watched the download performance of Lamb of God. Is it 2006, 7? One of those two. And it's so good. The crowd is so into it. It's hard to say not Laid to Rest First heard Lamb of God, Guitar Hero 2 with Laid to Rest, but it was a cover of Laid to Rest, I think. But the breakdown just hits so hard. It's a really fun song to play on guitar as well, which does, I don't know if you might have noticed that already, it does play a little bit of a part as to how much I've listened to music, as whether I've wanted to learn it on guitar or not. But yeah, Laid to Rest, fantastic track. Probably otherwise now you got something to die for, but maybe just watch the live download. I'm pretty sure it's 2007 performance because it's so good. But yeah, no, really good album. Let's have a quick look and see what we've got inside the booklet. Oh, it's a fold out one. Oh, it's really cool art on this side, but it's mostly just your lyrics on that side there. And then the cover artwork continues. And yeah, that's really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, good album, Ashes of the Wake. Laid to Rest would be the one I'd go for, but there's a good few tracks on there that I would listen to. Right, time to go and get another box. Okay, first album of box number 2, Muse's Harp album, a live album, and it's got some really cool tracks. It's actually got a DVD in it as well, so you've got the DVD alongside the CD. They start out with Knights of Sidonia on this one, and end with Take a Bow, which is an unusual choice to close the show, I must say. But you know, it was in that period of time where they were on fire. The track list is so good. Knights of Sidonia, Hysteria, Supermassive Black Hole, Map of the Problematic, Butterflies and Hurricanes, Invincible, Starlight, Time is Running Out, Newborn, Unintended, Microcuts, Stockholm Syndrome, and Take a Bow. Imagine that gig. That must have been so good. So that was them at Wembley Stadium in 2007. It's a really good album. If you can find a video of it, I would recommend doing that. The CD has fallen out. Put it back in there. But really, really cool. Really good recording. And it was Muse live. There we go. The 3 of them. I actually saw Muse at the O2 on the Drones tour, which was really cool. They had a lot of different funky stuff going on with it. They had these sort of 3D projector stuff, so they'd have basically see-through curtains going down the middle of the stage. The CD does not want to stay in there. They had sort of the 3D curtains going, and then for, I think it was the handler, they had puppet strings attached. And I'm not sure how they did it, because it was almost like it was linked up with them, how close it was. Obviously it would have been rehearsals and they knew which part they're going to be in, and they always do a similar sort of thing for certain parts of the song, but it looked really cool. So the production side of that was really cool, and that gig was really good as well. The supporting act was Nothing But Thieves, just after their first album, and they were so good live. His singing was so on point. Yeah, it made me and my wife big fans from there. Nothing But Thieves, so cool. But yeah, that Muse album, Harp, lovely. I suppose we can keep on the Muse train. Why not? Origin of Symmetry, Newborn, Plug-in Baby, System Erased, and Feeling Good. The big 4 tracks off of it. £1.12. Just noticed £1.12. What was that? I don't know what to say about this album, other than Plug-in Baby is one of those just earworm songs that you just listen to a lot. So it had some multimedia element. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it's got the minimum requirements for your PC to be. It needed to be a 400 megahertz Intel Pentium processor, or Windows 95, 98, 2K, or NT4. 32 whole megabytes of available RAM. QuickTime 3, or OS 8 for Macs, and again 32 megs of RAM. Crazy. It's such tiny numbers compared to today. If I was to recommend one track to listen to off this, if you haven't heard any of the Muse tracks from here, probably Plug-in Baby or Citizen Erased. I really like Citizen Erased, but Plug-in Baby is, you know, it's an iconic track. I think it's probably the way I would go. But yeah, Origin of Symmetry, sorry, by Muse. Give it a listen. It's a really cool album cover as well. Like, is it tuning forks? Do you reckon is that what it's meant to be? I think it might be. Yeah, give it a listen. Okay, so 2 Muse albums down, 1 to go. Showbiz, one of their earlier albums. In fact, is it their first album? No, it's not. I don't think, anyway. It's definitely an earlier one. 1999? Maybe it was the first, I don't know. But I don't know any of these tracks. I haven't listened to this album, really. At all. Couldn't tell you why. Actually, Sunburn? Do I recognise that? Maybe, but I don't know. It's a very early album, and I've not spent the time to really critique or say which song you should listen to from it. It's just kind of going to be on record as this is an album that I owned at some point. But yeah, not much to say about it. Haven't listened to it very much. Maybe that'll change by the time this has come out. Maybe I'll go on a Muse binge or something. Who knows? But yeah, haven't really listened to them much. What is this? The Switcheroo series. Alexisonfire and Maureen? What? What is this? It's got 6 tracks on it. What actually is this? I assume it's not... One of the tracks is called Charlie Sheen versus Henry Rollins. Tonight I'm gonna wash the hippie. What is this? Is this just Alexisonfire? Or is this like some weird collab thing they did? Recorded a few days at BWC Studios during 2005. They're not really sure when. How did it come to be? Okay, here we go. Sitting on a toilet. Great ideas come then. So it is a combination of the 2 bands, Moneen and Alexisonfire. They kind of collabed and made this conglomeration of music. I've not listened to it at all, but interesting. It's a weird like way for an album to come together. They just sort of got chatting and were like, yeah, let's do a whole album crossover rather than just a track where you feature on it. Let's just release an album as the 2 bands. Unusual. I might have to give it more of a listen because I don't know. But I don't know if it'll be the most highly produced thing in the world because, like I said, it was produced in a few days. But I don't know. Might be pretty cool. Switcheroo series, Alexisonfire and Moneen. Okay, so this album was also one of the first. Along with Fratelli's, this album, and Now, was it 60 something? I'm not sure. It was one of the Now albums. They were the first 3 that I got at the same time. And this album is Lily Allen's debut album, which had songs like Smile on it, Littlest Things, Friday Night, Alfie. Yeah, I haven't listened to this album in so long. So long. For those of you that don't know, her brother played, not Theoden. Oh no, my brain. Oh no. Reek, whatever his actual name was. Reek from Game of Thrones is her brother. And he's called Alfie, and track 11 is Alfie. It's based on him. In terms of songs to listen to, the only one I can remember, to be honest, is Smile. But yeah, Lily Allen, who'd have thought it, eh? Doesn't quite fit with most of the other stuff we've just covered, but you never know what you're gonna find. And I've kept my CDs. I haven't got rid of any of them, so that's why I'm going through and recording a record of what I had. Who'd have thought it? Okay, we'll do these two at once. These are blues best of albums. Real mix of stuff. You've got B.B. King, John Lee Hooker, Clapton, Beck, like, you know, a good mixture of them. But I think there was like 12 volumes or something in total. I don't know how I've ended up with 1 and 3, but I have. It's you know, good blues music. And I think I got them because I just wanted to get in and listen to a bit more blues, and I was like, right, play me the blues, grab them. And yeah, so I've got these two. It's a good mix of just blues, right? Like, yeah, it's just nice music. Nice, early, bluesy, got that vibe. Obviously not hugely highly produced if you compare to like today's music, but that's fine. It gives you that, you know, the sense of an era, a sense of age. You can tell that it's not modern. And yeah, give them a listen. I wouldn't be able to give you a track, to be honest, to listen to specifically off of them, but just find a blues playlist on Spotify or whatever, and just chill out, relax, watch the world go by, and listen to some blues. Apparently Muse weren't done. Another really good album, Absolution. Now, best tracks on here, quite a few actually. I'd go with Hysteria, Stockholm Syndrome, Time Is Running Out, probably the main 3 people know of off of this one. And for me, Hysteria, that bass line is just it's so good, it's so driving, it's such a loud, just distorted and right in your face bass. So yeah, that would be the track I would give a listen to. It's Hysteria off of this album. This was normally £13 and apparently I got it for £4. Well, I don't even think that's me, I think I got it for cheaper. Cool album cover. I'm not sure what the booklet has inside it. Oh, continues on the CD itself. It's pretty much just a lyric book by the looks of it. Yeah, it's a lyric book but with like torn up newspaper style things. It's very cool. Very cool. But yeah, I'd give Hysteria a listen from this just because of that bass line. If you want to listen to other tracks, Stockholm Syndrome, Time Is Running Out, you'll know the track, I'm sure. Most people know that song. But yeah, that's Muse Absolution. What an album this is. Cowboys from Hell. £3 apparently, from Pantera. It's their first album, I believe, and it has Cowboys from Hell, the title track, Cemetery Gates, and Domination. Those 3 tracks, I would say, are probably in most people's top 5 Pantera songs. Cemetery Gates is a beautiful track. The ascending bit at the end is so nice. And Domination, the breakdown, just hits so hard, and the guitar solo. Pantera are one of the early bands that I found in metal. Their Monsters of Rock concert, 91 was it? Something like that? Yeah, I think it was 91. Same one that Metallica were doing in Moscow. and it's a massive crowd. And I always remember the Domination video from it, and it's just, and Dimebag's guitar, just, so good, so good. So yeah, really, really good album. Track to listen to, probably Domination. Try and find the live one that I remember. It was really good. Cemetery Gates is also a fantastic track, along with some of the others on here. Psycho Holiday is a good track. But yeah, no, good, really good first album. Give it a listen. Okay, here's a band that I don't really listen to very much. It's Oasis. Oasis indeed. The Importance of Being Idle, I believe, is the reason why I got this. My guitar teacher at the time wanted me to learn it, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. And I think this was like £2-3 or something. I was like, oh, I know the name of that. Let's get it. I don't know any of the other tracks on here. They've got Mucky Fingers, Turn Up the Sun. Probably would recognise them if I heard them, but I'm not an Oasis fan. Not at all. Just never really got it. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to recommend from them. They're just not, never really clicked with me. I don't know. But yeah, Importance of Being Idle is a good track, I suppose. But I couldn't tell you what any of the others on here sound like. That would be the one I'd recommend, and that's kind of all I've got to say about it, really. What is this? I have no idea what this is. What is this? The Mad Capsule Markets. Let's have a look. The Mad Capsule Markets. Oh, okay, they exist. Sure, why not? Oh wait, this is new. May 22. Oh, a remaster video. Well, punk, I suppose. It's kind of punky, but is it English? Hang on, it says J-pop here. It sort of sounds English, but also not quite English. No, that does sound English, actually. The Mad Capsule Markets. Yeah, this is obviously the title track for that video. I didn't even know I had this CD. I have nothing really to say about it. Apparently it's punk rock. Who would have thought it? The Mad Capsule Markets. What a name. Let's have a quick look at what's on the inside. Yeah, so this is literally all based on like the music video, isn't it? Similar style. Weird. Weird. Yeah, didn't know I had that. No idea what song to recommend you. This is the title track. Maybe give that a listen. It's got 5,000 views at the moment. Okay, next album is one that I've got a little bit more knowledge on than the Mad Capsule Markets, which was the last one. In Flames, Sounds of a Playground Fading. Now, lots of people like early In Flames, but aren't huge fans of their more recent stuff. This album was actually not bad. It had a few good tracks on it. Fear is the Weakness is a banger. Deliver Us as well has a really nice riff. Where the Dead Ships Dwell is pretty cool. Ropes as well has a really nice guitar riff in it. A lot of these other tracks though, I don't remember. So that's not too bad though, to be honest. For an In Flames album in the last 10 years, knowing about half the tracks, it's pretty good going. I would say give Ropes a listen to off of this, because In Flames They used to be very classic melodic death metal from like Sweden. They've gone a little bit more mainstream in the last 20 years. But as you'd expect, any band should evolve, right? You shouldn't always stick to the same formula the entire time. As a band, you're probably not going to want to do that. You're going to want to change it up a bit. They first started by adding some synths and stuff, and then have gone a bit more clean vocals and changed it. I know, and I think it's Anders is the singer. He screwed up his throat at some point, so he had to completely change the way that he screamed. I actually saw them live, and it was on this album's tour. Was it this album? Or was it Siren Charms? I think it was this album. And it was really good. It was a really good show. They had While She Sleeps supporting them, and that was a great combo. That was a great combo of bands, actually. But yeah, no, give Ropes a listen. Ropes is a really good track. Continuing with In Flames, Siren Charms, which I did just mention. This was the album that came after Sounds of a Playground Fading. Paralysed is a really good track off of this. There's the back. Really cool album art, actually. Really like that album art. Paralysed, When the World Explodes. Siren Charms itself is also a pretty nice track. And Everything's Gone. So actually, there's a good few tracks on here that I really like. This is one that has got the lyric thing built into the whole thing, so it's got some really cool artwork. You've got some giant space turtle thing. The CD's trying to come out the bottom as well, but yeah, really nice. If I were to recommend you one song off of the Siren Charms album, Paralysed. Got a really nice riff and a really nice chorus. Give it a listen. Okay, we're continuing with In Flames. This is a live album. I actually don't really like the mixing on this live album. I was disappointed. There's another In Flames album, live album, that I thought sounded really good. It's a much earlier one. But the reason I got this live album was because it matched up with the show that I went to see. Basically, the track list here was very, very similar to the gig that I saw. And it just didn't convey the same, anywhere near the same amount of energy that you get out of actually a live performance. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But it was like a significant step down. In terms of tracks, it's a good track list. It's a good In Flames track list. What would I recommend? I mean, personally, I really like Cloud Connected as an In Flames song. Only for the Weak is such a classic as well. But Take This Life is the song they did as an encore. It's super energetic, super loud. Probably would be the one I would say to listen to off of Sounds from the Heart of Gothenburg. But again, I was disappointed with the mix, annoyingly. Whether that's just because I'd seen them live and it didn't quite live up to it, might play a part. But yeah. Okay, time for a bit of a change of pace. The Prodigy, Invaders Must Die. What an album this is. Again, came out at the right time for me. As late teenage, or well, mid-teenage years. Invaders Must Die, Omen, Thunder, Take Me to the Hospital, Warriors Dance, Worlds on Fire. All fantastic tracks. Even Invaders Must Die, the title track, is a banger. Obviously, this album has a little bit of a different sound than early Prodigy records. It's a lot more big, thumpy kind of bass, I suppose, whereas the earlier ones, it's a lot more on the drums. Especially like their first one, Experience. Like compared to that, this is a whole, almost different genre in a lot of ways. In terms of track I would recommend, Thunder. Thunder just pops. It's so good. That would probably be what I'd go for off of this. There's obviously a whole list. Like the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 or 7 tracks, all fantastic. But if I was just to say one, probably Thunder. See, the case is a little bit damaged. Let's have a quick little look. Very stylish, very orange and black, and very nice. Yeah, really stylish little lyric book there. Yeah, give a few of the tracks a listen though. There's music videos for some of them. Omen is an iconic little electronic riff as well, so I'd say that's probably worth a listen. But yeah, Prodigy, Invaders of Nostalgia, have a listen. Oh lordy! Well, you might have seen at the end of the last video, the camera did a bit of a funky thing. That wasn't digitally added, that was me smacking my hand on it, so sorry about that. Next up, what is this? Oh, okay, well this collection, okay, all of these are just, oh. Okay, so that would have come in some, this hasn't ever been opened. Songlines Music Awards. It's like a global music thing by the looks of it. I don't really know anything about it. I've never opened it. I don't recognise any of those names at all. Guitarist. This is literally a CD that came with a guitarist, and this is actually a film. So I don't know how they've got in here. However, this, David Gilmour on an Island, I found this CD on the floor. Just on the floor by a bus stop, and was like, I'm going to take it home and see if I can plug it in and get the tracks off of it. And it is pretty scuffed still. I've obviously not cleaned it. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the camera whether it is or not. But yeah, David Gilmour on an Island. Again, I don't really know any of the tracks off of it, but I found it on the floor, and I just wanted to make a record that, you know, this is a CD that I at one point had. Even if I didn't buy it, I just found it. So, and there's my fantastic album art again. Oh, hello. You want to come in? Come say hi? Go on then. Yeah, hello. What's up? On a treat? You good? It's suddenly gone dark in here. I don't know if you're still going to be able to see me really. The sun went in. But hello, hopefully you can see me. And hopefully you'll be able to see Dragon Force's Valley of the Damned. What a fantastic album. Well, what a fantastic track Valley of the Damned is, at least. Blackfire is also a banger, along with Starfire. They do like fire, don't they? Evening Star as well is actually a really nice track. Probably one of my more least favourite Dragon Force albums though. But Valley of the Damned is, oh, what an epic song. Again, Dragon Force came across them from Guitar Hero, and then sort of listened to a bit more and a bit more and a bit more as we went on. What's up, dog? Hello? You're being noisy. Hey, come on, what's up? Yeah, there you go. Ooh, scritch. Is that good? Come on, in your bed. Or lie down there, that's fine as well. Really cool album cover. Chariot riding lady. Oh, look at Herman Lee. Doesn't he look fantastic? Oh, these photos are certainly something. Sam as well, beautiful. Ay ay ay! Wow, wondrous. Oh, what's going on? Have you fallen over, for doggo? Belly rubbed. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, give Valley of the Damned a listen. Oh, I'm not allowed to stop giving you a fuss, am I? Is that what's going on here? Is that what's going on here? Yeah? Well, have an each then. There you go. Yeah, give Valley of the Damned a listen. Is probably the track of the album. It is literally the album title as well. But the title track is actually probably the best on here. Give give it a go. Right. The Slim Shady LP, Eminem. From what I remember, this is a censored version of it. Didn't realise that when I bought it. So surprisingly enough, it does lose a little bit by being censored. Obviously you've got tracks like My Name Is, which is probably the one that most people know off of the album. Brain Damage, from what I remember as well. It's ringing a bell. I couldn't like sing it or rap it at all for you, but the name rings a bell as an Eminem track. I haven't listened to it much at all. Mostly because, like I said, it was censored, and I was like, why? Why is there just silence in the middle of these songs? What are you doing? And I haven't actually listened to much Eminem on Spotify or anything either. But £1.99, I think this was a charity shop one by the looks of it. Let's have a quick look at the lyric book. Very colourful. And no lyrics. It is just a like credits list of who it was written and produced by, which is interesting. Not hugely useful though. Cool. So yeah, not a huge amount to recommend. Can't really recommend your tracks. I don't really know anything apart from My Name Is, which everybody would know. That's about all I've got to say. Come On Everybody as well. Definitely know that one. Ooh. A recent-ish album again, 2016. Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Double, like, mega album. So you got the 2 discs of the main album and then a bonus one, which I believe, I can't remember if it was a DVD or if it's just live tracks, but it's a really nice whole package that it comes in. The actual lyric book, let's have a little look. It looks like it's actual lyrics as well. Weird, funky, distorted pictures of, like, I think it's one of their faces being projected onto another one, is what I'm getting from it. It's like a projection either of themselves or of someone else onto their face, which is pretty cool. In terms of as an album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct surprised me. It was pretty good. I actually liked the album before. I can't remember what the name is, the one that had All Nightmare Long, Day That Never Comes on it. What's it? Dynamic Magnet. What is it? Something like that. Dynamic Magnet by Metallica. It's obviously not that. That's, you know what I mean. Death Magnetic, that's the one. I really like that album. Probably liked it more than this, but this has got some really good tracks on it. If you haven't listened to Atlas Rise or Moth into Flame, both of them are great. Now That We're Dead as well, I'm pretty sure that was the song they ended up using for Undertaker's last match at the first WrestleMania that was done in lockdown. Which is such a random time and reference. I was like, hang on, that's Metallica. What? Wow. But no, Atlas Rise, Moth into Flame, good tracks. Hardwired as well, it's a short 3 minute, just blasting. Like, I wish the solo had a little bit more time because it feels like it just starts to get going and then it stops. And it's like, oh, come on, 10 more seconds, just a little bit more. Spit Out the Bone as well, actually. There's a lot of good tracks on this album. It's a nice little double album. So yeah, give them a listen. Ooh, interesting band. Cult of Luna. Eternal Kingdom. Now, a really, really, really cool, like, album package. Like, the whole thing is so nice. The actual music, I seem to remember it was kind of doomy, sort of metal of some sort, but I haven't listened to it much. I've got it. gotta be honest, I don't remember much at all, but we've got an 8-minute track, we've got a 7-minute track, a 12-minute track, so yeah. That's actually a really cool way of doing like the lyrics. Something a little bit different. Some instrumentals in the middle there as well. I seem to remember it was nice music, but I don't remember anything specific. I can't really remember a track to listen to specifically either. Probably give the first track a listen, Owlwood. Does actually give me... I have some memory of Owlwood as a name of a song. But yeah, I just really like the packaging. I think I saw it online and was like, oh, it looks so cool. And then I got it and listened to it and was like, oh, it's really not that much my thing, but it's still a really cool, like, looking thing to have. So yeah, Cult of Luna, Eternal Kingdom. Give Owlwood a listen. It's the track that I seem to remember somewhere in my brain. That's like, yeah, that's a good one. It's probably all I'm going to be recording for today because, God, there's so many more to go through. But this is not Megadeth, Queens of the Stone Age. Now, which was this? This is Lullabies to Paralyze. Weird band, Queens of the Stone Age, because outside of Songs for the Deaf, I've never really gotten into any of their albums. I had this, I had Rated R as well, and I just couldn't get into them. Oh, and surprisingly enough, we'll just cover both of them in one. There's Era Vulgaris, which has Freezing Sevens. Freezing Sevens is the first song I heard from Queens of the Stone Age. Guitar Hero 3 again. Outside of that, Make It With You is the only other track on here that I recognise and was like, yeah, I know that. On here, Little Sister, and that's just because I learnt it on guitar, because I had the like part. That was pretty fun to play, and then yeah, you know, exactly like that. That was a perfect rendition, promise. What am I on about? So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, man. For Queens of the Stone Age, from like the two albums, it would have to be Little Sister and Freezing Sevens. Again, they're both from me learning them on guitar, which, like I've said before, is kind of a common theme. If I learn something on guitar, it will stick in my head, and that will be the track from the album. I haven't given the rest of the albums much of a listen, but if you were to listen to one song from the albums, that would be the one to go for. Yeah, I think that sums them up pretty well. The Living End. Now, I know one Living End song, and it is the first track on here. You want to guess where I know it from? You said Guitar Hero? That's correct. Prisoner of Society was on Guitar Hero World Tour, I believe. It was on one of them. I think it was World Tour, maybe it was 5. And that's why I've got this album. It would have been super cheap at charity shop, like £1-2 somewhere. I haven't given it much of a listen. I can't really tell you anything about any of the other tracks, unfortunately. Prisoner of Society is a good song. Oh, it's trying to escape. Let's have a quick... Oh, the middle bit's completely been crushed. You know what I mean? Like that middle bit where the CD is held is just... They're all gone, so it just falls out. That's a shame. But let's have a little look. Okay, it's very punky. Yeah, got some images of the band. Love to see it. Wait, he plays a cello? I'm assuming that's a cello, or is it like a double bass? Is there another image of it? Is there a bigger image? Because that's really cool. I might have to look them up and see if there's like a live thing of them doing it, but you probably see that image there. He's playing cello on the stage. That's so cool. I might just give them more of a listen, because upright bass, there we go. So they had a vocalist, a guitarist, an upright bass, and a drummer. All of them did some of the vocals, but what a weird combo. Upright bass, no like electric bass. It's falling apart. Strange, but there you go. Living End. I'm going to give them more of a listen, but Prisoner of Society is a good song, so give that a listen, see what you think, maybe listen to some more. Ooh, Megadeth. Super Collider? One of their more recent albums. Haven't listened to it very much. Megadeth were one of those, they were like the first thrash band that I really got into, but their more recent stuff, like 13 as well, I haven't listened to their latest album either. There was just too much. I think there's too much listening to Dave Mustaine. I don't know, they've got so many good songs, Megadeth, but ever since because obviously the entire band has changed over the years, and Mustaine's basically the only one that's still there from the original, from what I remember. And it's lost something along the way somewhere. I don't know. It doesn't hit quite the same anymore. Don't know a single track off of here. I'm going to imagine that the title track is probably pretty good, but I don't remember it at all. I don't remember a single track off of here, which is a shame. Maybe I need to listen to it, but yeah, nothing rings a bell. Have a quick look at the album artwork. Hopefully you can see me. I know it's quite dark in here now. Oh, that's a cool like inner bit. Some like band photos and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know, recent Megadeth is not my thing. I haven't really got a track to recommend because I don't know. I think I got the album because it was the new Megadeth album, but then just didn't listen to it. Just didn't get around to it, wasn't inspired to listen to it, and surprisingly enough, I'm not inspired to listen to it, I'm not going to listen to it. Welcome back everyone. I've got a whole nother box of CDs to go. And we're going to start with Opeth, Blackwater Park. Now Opeth's a band I've not actually listened to a huge amount, apart from the album Sorceress on it. I can't remember what it was. That one I really liked. The earlier stuff is so heavy and it's just, I don't know, it's not really the sort of music I listen to a huge amount. The Drapery Falls and Leper Affinity and Blackwater Park itself are songs I recognise, and I know it is a very well regarded album. But like I said, I've not listened to it a huge amount, so I would struggle to like recommend like one to go for. But there's the cover art again. Just have a quick look on the inside. Got to look at the booklets, don't we? And it's a pretty standard kind of lyric book style thing by the looks of it. Yeah, with just like a center image. So yeah, pretty standard one. Your usual thanks and bits like that at the end. But like I said, I've not listened to the album very much. I've heard really good things about it. So I got it, and then I realised, hang on, I don't actually necessarily enjoy Opeth. I don't know. Like I said, their later album, where they sort of took a lot of the kind of not droniness, like, I'm not sure how I would describe the sound, but if you listen to their like first album against that one, you'll immediately notice, oh, hang on, yeah, it's almost a different genre. Yeah, but I haven't listened to it much, but I've heard good things. Oh, good album up next. Good album indeed. Arch Enemy and Doomsday Machine. That's the one. I couldn't remember the name of it for a second. This is the album that I think a lot of people would have like really got into Arch Enemy from, because you've got Taking Back My Soul, Nemesis, My Apocalypse, Carry the Cross, Out for Blood. Like, there's a lot of really, really memorable songs on this. Nemesis's riff, especially. It's beautiful. Really good album. 2005. Yikes. It's nearly 20 years old. Holy moly. Yeah, so songs to listen to. Nemesis, Out for Blood, which is like I Am Legend, Out for Blood. It's kind of combined. There's just so many good ones from this. I haven't actually ever looked at this booklet, I don't think. Doomsday Machine, so it is literally drawings and artwork of, I assume, something designed to bring doom. And then it's your classic sort of lyrics in between it as well, along with a nice little band photo at the end. So yeah, really good album, Doomsday Machine. Would recommend giving it at least Nemesis My Apocalypse like a listen through. If you like your melodic death metal, I suppose that's technically what they're classed as, but I guess I've never put them on like the same genre as like In Flames or Dark Tranquillity. They've got a slightly different sound to them. I don't know, but yeah, Doomsday Machine, give it a listen. Oh, I've just seen the next one. November's Doom. Now, November's Doom, this is one of the CDs that I got for super cheap. Again, it would have been like 2-3 quid, something like that. I remember Not the Strong, which is the first track on here. Outside of that, I can't think of a huge amount more. But again, it was a super cheap one. They're kind of... Actually, what genre are they classed as? It's kind of... not Doom, but... I mean, that would be a bit too simple, right? November's Doom. What are they? Death thrash metal? Really? Yeah, Death Doom is more like it. Let's see what the Metal Archives have for them. Doom/death metal, yeah. So, I don't know, death metal I've never really been able to get into myself, so it was again just it's a cheap CD, it's metal, let's get it. This is like when I was first getting into it, so I just wanted metal. And then I quickly kind of found out which parts of metal I really enjoyed and which parts I didn't so much. Unfortunately, Doom and Death is one of those. Not the Strong as a song I recognise. Spirit Seed as well. It's just ringing bells from there, because back in the day I would have listened through it. But yeah, outside of that, can't really recommend anything on here. So maybe give it a try, but I don't remember it being like a must listen, if you know what I